Welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show with barefaced lies and well-masked truths. On David Mitchell's team tonight, all the way from Match of the Day, it's Mark Chapman. And singer, actor, some kind of superstar, it's Jamelia. And on Lee Mack's team tonight, winner of both a Glitter Ball and a BAFTA, it's Strictly's Diane Buswell. And it's Mr. Middlesbrough himself, Bob Mortimer. We begin with round one, Home Truths, where our panellists read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before. They have no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. Jamelia, you're first up tonight.
Whenever somebody wrongs me, I get my own back in my very special way.
Oh.
Wrong, like bad.
Yeah.
What kind of thing, first of all, would you consider as a wrong to you?
To be honest, most of the people that I do this to are like exes.
Right, the big question then. What is it?
What is it you do?
Okay, so it's a computer game called The Sims 4.
Love it.
What, sorry?
Sims.
It's the best game. I've been playing it for years.
I know about this. I know about The Sims.
Diane, would you then, for Grandpa there, would you explain?
So it's like, it's a computer game.
Oh, she's looking at Bobby. That's my favourite Bob Mortimer moment I want to lie
I play Sims 5.
Oh, you play Sims 5?
Yeah.
Wow. So basically you build your perfect house and stuff.
Right.
And you have like a star above your head and you can get pregnant, you can do all sorts.
You get pregnant from having a star above your head?
You can get...
That happens in the Bible. Someone is a star and a pregnancy
As Diane said, you can kind of build a world. So I create the person and I make sure it looks like the person, and then...
The ex.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
You can create them a house and, you know, and they get a job and blah, 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 but mine don't. I just make sure they suffer so they don't...
What sort of things, then, would make their life terrible?
Well, like, they don't apply for a job, and so they don't have money, and if they don't have money, then they can't really eat. If they can't eat, you know...
You know that this show, this gets broadcast.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing you've done to them?
I'm not doing anything to them. It's just they...
I think you are.
They...
You're controlling whether he applies for a job.
I control whether they even go to the toilet.
Well, so it is you doing it, then.
You don't let them go to the toilet.
It just depends how I feel on the day. Like, you know, how much do I hate them that day? But it's a good thing because I'm not doing these things in real life.
Well, let me ask you a question. If you contacted your ex, said, how have you been? And they said, I've not been able to find a job, I'm struggling to go to the toilet. Be honest, how would it make you feel?
I already must sound like a psycho, but I'd be quite happy.
Is it the kind of game where if I go on and create a character, I can find you in that world?
Not yet, but the next one, Sims 5, we're going to be able to do that.
played it?
Now, is that what you play?
Is this lying?
I played the original Sims with...
When are you going to learn never to believe a thing he says?
What do we think, Diane?
I kind of want this to be a lie, but I feel like it's a truth.
I'd like it to be true.
Would you?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Well, it is quite a nice way of coping with...
You don't think it's as good as just moving on?
So, you think truth, lie?
Truth for me.
True.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, go on, we'll say that's true.
They say so, oh, my word. OK. Jamelia, was it true or was it a lie?
Of course it is true.
It's true. Jamelia does take revenge on those who wrong her. Diane, you're next.
OK. Whenever I park my car, I always give it a kiss goodbye.
David's team.
Why?
I mean, my car, it's really nothing special, but to me, it's very special.
What model of car is it?
So it's a Mini Cooper. It has a sunroof.
What colour?
Blue, but it was red. No, but that's a true story.
Okay.
Basically...
As unlike
Now, I'm going to ask you a delicate question. Where do you kiss it?
It's actually the little ears, is what I call them.
The wing mirrors.
Yes.
You bend over and kiss the wing mirror.
At least it's not the exhaust pipe.
So say, like, you know, like bird poo or maybe, like, you know...
A big splat of bird
Do you
poo
know
on
what I
a wing
mean?
mirror. What would you do
I think
then?
that's better luck. Good luck.
Not for your health, it's not.
Well, it's good for your immune system. That kind of
Utter rubbish.
It actually is.
Please don't encourage children watching at home to eat bird poo.
Jamelia, what do you think?
I think absolutely no chance is this true. My turning point was, like, saying that you're OK with kissing the bird poo, like...
Actually, if you did know me, you would know that I would very much kiss bird poo because I'm just that kind of girl.
I'm not sure that someone who will kiss bird poo is a kind of girl.
It's funny because the phrase "I'm just that kind of girl" is usually preceded with "I like drinking tequila and dancing." I'm just that kind of. Exactly. Not very often is it. I like kissing bird poo. I'm just that kind of girl.
I think it's true.
You think it's true? And you think it's a lie?
It's a lie.
I mean, please. Where does that leave me?
I've never seen you broken before you speak to Bob.
I just said he played The Sims 5, and that turned out not to be true. He's just toying with us. He had no need. There was no card. He didn't need to start. The boxing had not begun, and yet he's already swung at me. You think it's true?
No, I'll go lie.
Really?
Yes.
I'll go with my team and say lie.
OK, they're saying it's a lie. Diane, was it a lie? Or was it true?
It is a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Diane doesn't kiss her car goodbye. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. This week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest. It's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Pam. So, Mark, what is Pam to you?
This is Pam. When I thought she might be having a heart attack, I ignored her because I was busy with golf.
Jamelia, how do you know Pam?
So this is Pam, and when I sang at the birth of a billionaire's baby, she delivered it.
And finally, David, what is your relationship with Pam?
This is Pam, and I had to make it up to her after I unwittingly completed her crossword on a train.
So there we have it. Lee's team, where will you begin?
We'll start with Mark. Well, first of all, how do you know her?
We used to work together
Where?
on the radio. She was a producer and editor.
So you were playing golf?
No, I was working on the golf, the open golf at St Andrews.
I'm a big golf fan. What year was this?
3 years ago.
Oh, OK. Who won the Open 3 years ago at St Andrews?
Cam Smith.
Hate golf, never watch it. So, OK, talk us through what happens next.
And by the 18th, and also the 1st, because they're next to each other at St Andrews, and when you do the golf, you need someone to look after your coffee and give you little notes and stuff like that. And that was what Pam was doing.
No coffee, no golf?
No coffee, no golf.
That Bob Marley song?
Coming down the 18th is Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Oh.
And going the other way is Rory McIlroy.
Right.
And
That
it's-
allowed? I thought they all have to go the same way.
No, they're going on different holes.
Oh, that's safer.
That's safer. So I'm commentating on it, and I can see a figure on the floor next to me. I glance. It's Pam.
And you're panicking because you're thinking, she spilt my coffee.
Pam is on her back and not moving.
She's so professional, she's like that.
And on the one hand, I'm thinking I could help her, but on the other, I'm thinking I'm commentating on Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy crossing for the last time.
Was anyone else helping Pam?
No, because we were the only ones inside the ropes.
Was she making any noises?
Here's your coffee.
If she was, I couldn't hear her because I had my headphones on.
She looked in distress.
Well, she looked motionless. And
So she might have already died,
She
in which
might-
case there was nothing you could have done anyway.
But you are on the radio, it's not television.
Yeah.
So did you not feel you could at least sort of do both and go...
What?
Here we
Commentate
are,
and-
Tiger Woods and Rory are crossing now. It's a dramatic moment. We did a set.
she didn't have a heart attack.
No, but you thought she might have had...
I'd just seen her fall back and lie on the floor.
What had happened to her?
Well, with your headphones, you wear a very large battery pack around your waist that's really heavy. And Pam had bent down to pick my coffee up to hand it to me, and the weight of the battery pack had sent her tumbling backwards, and she couldn't get up off the floor.
And when did you realise she was OK?
Once Tiger had gone past, I looked and she was laughing.
OK, and did you laugh politely and then go, seriously, though, the coffee?
No. I laughed and was very relieved.
It's disappointing, Mark.
Do you still work together?
No, Pam left the BBC about 6 months after.
What a surprise.
What do you work at Costa?
Who would you like to quiz next, Lee?
Let's quiz Jamelia.
Remind us of how you know Pam.
So I was performing at the birth of a billionaire's baby, and Pam delivered the baby.
Or where was this?
So the house was in Holland Park. It was a home birth.
And you were booked or you're a friend?
Basically, they booked me for a 2-week block.
Wow.
I couldn't work. I mean, they
Wow.
paid me handsomely, so
Are
it was
you willing
fine.
to say how much?
No way. And then the week where the birth, we knew it was going to happen, I had to actually stay in the house. I wasn't, like, locked up. I was a guest. It was lovely.
Until you just said that, no one thought you were locked up. Now I'm wondering, were you locked up?
So is there a band there, or are you singing a cappella?
So a guitar player came in. So the guitar player was basically on call because he lived, like, in Shepherd's Bush.
Right.
And the birth was in Holland Park, and they're not too far from each other. But because I was from Birmingham, I stayed.
Hang on, he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
He couldn't just get you a flat round the corner or a hotel?
His house was huge. Like,
Well, why did the guitar player come and stay then?
I was, like, famous at the time. So, you know, he probably didn't want just a random guitar player. I think it was, you know... No!
I'll tell you what, Mark, you're not the most heartless person here.
Did you actually perform during the birth itself?
Yeah.
What did you
literally,
sing?
I sang, like, more of my mellow songs.
Oh,
and
so all
then-
your own stuff?
Not all my own. I did some covers as well.
Pam helped deliver the baby.
Pam was the midwife.
Ah,
Yeah.
OK.
Did she get to stay in the house?
Yeah, because...
This guitar player's very low rent, isn't it? No disrespect to Pam, but
Yeah.
Pam is not famous. Why are the rules different for Pam than the guitar player that's not famous?
She's a midwife. She's delivering the
She's
baby.
not famous, though, is she?
No, but she's more important
way
to the
more
whole thing than the
important.
guitarist.
Are there no midwives that can play guitar?
Now, what about David, then?
OK, David, remind us.
Yeah.
Well, I had to make it up to Pam when I unwittingly completed her crossword on a train.
You got the last one.
I got the last few.
What crossword was it?
It was the cryptic one in the Telegraph.
Talk us through it.
Well, I got on the train.
Oh, no, not the whole story, just the bit that counts.
I was born. No,
Who was playing? I'm going to go Nigel Kennedy.
So I sat in my seat,
Yeah.
and there was what looked to me like an abandoned newspaper.
Now, are you on a two-seater or a four-seater?
A four-seater.
Four-seater. Are you on your own?
I am.
But there's a newspaper there.
On the table.
Yeah.
And apparently no one's sitting there. No evidence that Pam even exists at this point. No pen.
No pen.
I had to use my own pen.
Wow. I mean, I don't know where Pam is, but in a minute I'm going to say she took a pen to the toilet. But carry on.
She must have done. Yeah. I never checked. When she came and sat down, I did not go, have you been to the toilet?
When you sat down, was it literally in front of you there? When you went, you sound like the impression he does of you.
It's a first. I said it's certainly not presented in front of me like a sort of table mat.
But it was closest to the seat you were sat in?
Yeah, I mean, there was no one else sitting around this table. There was no one else sitting around the table.
Quite enjoying.
Do I do that?
Right, so she sits down,
Yes.
took the newspaper back from you,
No,
did she?
well, I sort of put it towards her, and then she says, "Oh, you finished the crossword." And I went, "Oh, yes, I'm terribly sorry." And she was, "Oh,
This
no,
is the most middle-class dust-up I've ever heard. Go on.
No, it was. She was really nice about it, and I said, "I'm sorry," and she said, "That's fine," and it was, fine but awkward.
Where'd she be?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Well, we know where she's been, don't we?
There's a
If she's not got a tea or a Kit Kat with her, she's been to the loo. Do you think of any other place she could have been?
Well, she could have been solving a murder that happened in the restaurant car.
And how did you make it up to her?
Soon afterwards, I went up to the buffet car to buy a tea, and I thought, I'll buy her a newspaper if they've got one there.
And they've got an array of newspapers at those.
No. They weren't selling newspapers in the buffet car.
But you thought they would?
Yeah.
Did you get anything for her?
I got myself a tea and I got her a twirl.
And what did she say when you gave her a twirl?
She said, I've got type 2 diabetes.
And you said, was that 4 across?
Right, we need an answer. So, is Pam Mark's forsaken friend, Jamelia's birth buddy, or David's puzzled pal?
First of all, what do we think of Mark? Does he look like the kind of man that would leave a woman on the floor, possibly having had a heart attack, because he wants to carry on his own selfish career?
I feel like he does a bit, but
What are you thinking, Bob?
I'm most interested in Pam. I think the glasses say media, but the necklace says hospital.
yes.
Well, you know all the chat-up lines, don't you? Oh, I love your necklace, love. It says to me, hospital.
It's so guided!
So are you saying, Bob, that you think Pam produces casualty?
I believe Jamelia.
You believe Jamelia?
Jamelia's story was told beautifully. It sounded very authentic.
Diane, what did you think of Jamelia's story?
I thought Jamelia's story was very realistic. Well, in a non-realistic way. Do you not think it's Jamelia?
I don't think it's Jamelia. More about the accommodation than anything.
Yeah, true.
I'm a billionaire. I've got 100 rooms. Guitar player's not staying.
If I lived in Shepherd's Bush, yeah, I'd rather stay at home.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that I got on a train and a newspaper had been left on the table and it subsequently turned out that its owner was still on the train. Now, in your world of disbelieving a guitarist coming from Shepherd's Bush, does not my story shine with truth?
Lee, it's time for a decision.
Are we going to go with Jamelia, team?
Come on, Jamelia.
Go with Jamelia.
You're going Jamelia? OK. Pam, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Pam, and Mark Chapman ignored me when I fell at the golf.
Yes, Pam is Mark's forsaken friend. Thank you very much, Pam. Which brings us to our final round, quickfire lies, and we start with... It's Bob.
I once helped a famous footballer with his cheese selection.
David's team.
What was the cheese?
I don't remember any of this. No, I do. It's a very fleeting memory. Do you know, like, if you dig up a weed and put it in the wheelbarrow? Very quickly forgotten, that weed.
Do you see the games he
Oh,
plays?
a conversation with a ticket inspector.
Yeah.
I remember it that well.
And yet banging cheese with Ronaldo is quite memorable.
Who was the footballer?
It was the famous one.
Which famous one?
He played for the big club. Where are you from, Mark?
Manchester.
Manchester player.
Right, which one?
Edin Dzeko.
Right, OK.
When was this?
It was about 10 years ago. Is that still how we measure the passage of time? Yeah.
Edin Dzeko. Was he playing 10 years ago?
Yeah, he was a striker for Manchester City.
What was the circumstance, Bob? Where were you?
Manchester.
Oh, you're in Manchester?
I was in Manchester, yeah. I was there for a meeting with some old friends of mine. Tony Holdall and Jerry Haversack. They had a little double act together called the Carrier Bags. Tony, very small man, on account of his height, had the nickname Shetland Tony. And I was too early for the meeting.
Right.
So I thought I'll go to the nice supermarket and get some car cheese.
Car cheese?
Cheese to eat in the car.
Car cheese? Is that a thing?
Do you not like a bit of cheese in a vehicle? It's such a nice shop. In Manchester, Booths.
The Waitrose of the North.
Yeah. And they have a cheese counter, Jamelia, and a man is such a small man
Yeah.
that he'd written on his palm, it said hi on one palm, and it said cheese, question mark. So, anyway, yeah. So, that was buying some cheese to eat in my car.
Which Shetland Tony have towered over this guy?
Well, it might have been his dad. I don't remember the cheese, man.
OK.
What about Eddie Dzeko? When did he appear?
Edin.
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 Bang! Edin the ball. Right.
Snake, kick, head. So I saw him, and I was very excited, and I wanted to send a picture of him to my sons. So I followed him around, and he's concentrating on, like, you know, the airy foods, you know, like Rice Krispies, crumpets, cheese puffs.
In the shop, you're following through a section where the food is grouped sort of according to the aesthetic of its structure.
No, I just noticed that he was ferreting around for that type category of food.
Oh, in every area, in the chocolate area, it's aero. The cheese area, it's Swiss cheese. The cake area, it's the sponge. So this guy, you analyse, wants food with holes in it.
Exactly. Because I did stand next to him very closely, and he picked up some luncheon meat, and he said, far too dense. Far too dense.
To who? Who's he talking
To himself.
To the luncheon.
He's from Bosnia.
So he was talking to himself in English, though, not in his native language. Is he Bosnian?
He is Bosnian,
He's
yeah.
Bosnian.
He's
Well, that's
Bosnian,
not-
but fluent in 5 languages.
Yeah, but it's still his most natural language for him to talk to himself in wouldn't be English, would it?
See, German used to be the language for engineering and science way back.
Yeah.
And English was always the language of research. And he was researching the food. Anyway, John.
Had it been like a new species of flower, he'd have spoken in Latin.
So what happened next?
I arrived at the cheese counter and I ordered some red Leicester. Jacko appeared and he asked me what cheese I'd bought and would I recommend it. I said to him it was red Leicester,
Yes.
And he asked the man if he could try a bit of the red Leicester. The man put up his hands. Yeah, sure. He didn't.
Yeah.
The man gave him a bit of red Leicester and he looked at me and he said something in the area of Krashinovse.
What?
Krashinovse.
You've learnt now that he spoke to himself in his own language.
So I looked at him afterwards and it actually meant whoops-a-daisy. He didn't like it. He didn't like it.
He said, whoops-a-daisy. Whoops-a-daisy, I've put something disgusting in my mouth.
Yeah. You know, as it were, ooh, whoops-a-daisy.
Jamelia, what are you thinking?
I just think there's too many holes in the story. I loved it, but there's just no chance that it's true. Or it's the most
I'm going to
fantastic
stop
double
you
bluff.
there.
Oh.
One thing I will promise you is that it might be true. It's definitely he's referring to a shop he knows
Yes.
where cheese could plausibly be bought.
Yes.
And he's selected a footballer who lives in that city.
Okay.
There's plausibility there, but on the other hand, he's surrounded that core of plausibility with a lot of nonsense. Hands, but then he says, "Oh no, that bit's not true.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just decoration around what is the thing he's decorating?
Oh, so you think
true
he's like...
or false?"
That's actually quite a good tactic, isn't it? Okay.
What do you think?
Oh, brilliant. I'm... Lie.
Why do you think it's a lie?
Because he's not making eye contact with us.
I think it might be true. Oh. And the bit I found most plausible... but then, of course...
David, it is now time to decide.
True.
True?
Lie, come on.
True, we're going true. One true, one lie, we're going true. Okay. There we go, and it'll be over soon.
You're saying it's true? OK.
Yes.
Bob, was it true or was it a lie?
I was telling the truth.
It's true. Bob did help a famous footballer choose cheese. Oh, that noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show. I can reveal that David's team has won by 3 points to 1. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Good night.